Ladies and gentlemen, okay, another Facebook Live on this lovely Thursday, January 6th. Welcome, everybody. Hope your year is starting off incredibly, productive and profitable and all that good stuff, like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is what we like to talk about here. But today, we are very fortunate from the Southwest office in Las Vegas, Nevada, to have Mr. Evan Bellman. Evan, can you hear our studio audience? They just love you.
I love it. Yes. Ecstatic.
All right. All right. Well, let's start off by telling a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, and all that good stuff, please.
Of course, yeah. So I was officially licensed in 2017. But prior to that, I spent about 18 years in the casino environment, casino world, working my way up to pretty high level on the executive side. And ultimately, I just had enough of that world, burnt out, stressed out. And so I made the switch. And I got my license, like I said, 2017. And in between, the casinos came calling again. So I went back for just a brief bit. But then that lasted very shortly. And I came back into the world. So, full speed ahead, really. We're, for me, 100% concentrating on real estate has been just a little over 2 years.
Awesome. Well, and tell us a little about what is your goal for this year and what did you close last year? Give them a little idea of where you are as far as production goes, please.
Sure. So my goal for this year, I like I said, I came from the casino, so I'm a little bit of a different breed. I did a full-on business plan in the end of November, early December. 5 pages, goals, actions, mission statement, marketing plan, social media, all that stuff. So I was able to dig deep pretty intensely into my goals. So my first year in the business, I was, or actually with Berkshire, I was able to crack the top 100. So I was number 90 the first year. And so my goal really in my business plan this year is to make an obtainable goal, but it's to get a little bit higher. And I'm shooting to land in about the top 70 to 60 agents company-wide. So that's probably going to come out to somewhere, if you want to put a dollar value to it, which, certainly not embarrassed to, you're probably looking at somewhere about, 200-ish GCI, somewhere around there. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Good. And, it's funny you say that because people say, well, the awards and all that and that good, healthy competition isn't that important. I disagree. I think it's great that you know exactly what number. And just so everybody understands, that's not from Nevada. We have 1,100 agents in Nevada. So being in the top 100 is incredible because we have some really productive agents, as you know, Evan, here. So great job. Congratulations. And I love that it's funny because I coach a bunch of people in this, in Nevada that know that number. I want to be 17. I want to be 20. I want to be 100. I want to be, I want to crack that top 100, which is a really big, accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Look, I was very fortunate. I know you in your, in the success series where we preach the SOI, and I was fortunate coming from the world that I came from. That's really what got me going on that first year. I was lucky, obviously. Luck doesn't happen by its own; it happens in conjunction with hard work. But that's what really got me going the first year.
Awesome. Well, and I would imagine having your ties. Well, first off, I have to say because I'm smiling because you said that. You got out of the casino world because it was stressful and so forth. And real estate is not that stressful to you. So that's good. I like that.
It's a different stress, a totally different stress, right? Like I'm not in the casino world. The level that I was at, I'm getting phone calls at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning having to make $1 million credit decision. And so that's not happening now. Yes, you're still selling in that same atmosphere, clientele on the price of the homes, but it's a little different stress than having 110 employees of a department that generates $120 million. And at that point I was at Bellagio, and all the big bosses are there. So you really got to be on your toes. So I think that prepped me for the world that I transferred into this on the luxury side, and which I aimed for within my first year. I wanted to be a luxury collection, and I got it. And that I think that will prepare me. But to your point, it's stress. I learned how to manage it better coming from where I came from.
Right.
But it's stressful, just a different stress.
No, I'm just playing with it because I can only imagine, they call you and they say, hey, we got this sports star down here who wants $1.5 million credit. Can we give it to him? And they wake you up at 2 a.m. and you go, who is it? Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Listen, they had 3 questions they knew to ask me. If they didn't ask me, if question number 1 wasn't right, we didn't question number 2, the phone was hung up and I said, call me back when you have the information.
Wow. Nice. I love it. I love it. No, and the other thing is real estate, like, okay, so when you're working for a casino, you're working for somebody else. You have that pressure. When you're in real estate, this is your business, man. This is your show. So any stress or any type of uncomfortableness it's about your show, not someone else's, which I really think, makes that a lot more palatable, don't you?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
It look, I don't mind working hard and I don't mind the stress, but when it's for yourself, it's a completely different animal.
It's a
And
whole different thing. And I have to say, Happy New Year, Joan. I see you there. Great job. Happy New Year to you too. All right, one of our lovely Arizona agents. Okay,
hi,
so
Joan.
yeah, she's great. Okay, so you're gonna do. So you're gonna, in order to do that, you have to do the GCI of over 200. Okay, so good. So give me an idea. I know you work your sphere. What other
Yeah.
things do you do to create that kind of business in your third, fourth year? By the way, yeah, which is
Yeah.
great.
Right. I'm extremely detail oriented. So, my day, I live my life by a calendar, and I live that way. And that came from the casino world, right? With everything that we had a meeting for a meeting just to have a meeting. So that world's gone, but that did give me the structure to operate in this world. Because if your time isn't managed properly in this world, you have no shot, right? Like if so, part of the things I do, look, I print my weekly schedule out on Sunday night, and so I can see what I have going on the whole week. And then I also print one out Sunday night for Monday, so I can review what's going on my next day immediately. And I'll do that routine throughout the week, and then obviously again it repeats the overall process on Sunday. And that's just one of the key factors for me. I need to be constantly doing something, or I feel like I'm not working, and that
Right.
ultimately it seeps into your mental process, right? Your thought process, and then that will set you back too. So that's really kind of my key, is just have a structured organization. The SOI, and everyone talks how important it is, but until you get into it, you don't realize A, how truly important it is, and B, how hard it is to actually work that if you don't do it properly.
Totally agree. Yeah, you can do so much business from your sphere, but it's a full time job. I mean, it really is. You gotta know what to say. Be good practicing conversation, which took me a long time to learn. Believe it or not, people think I was, natural. I really had to learn how to ask questions, open ended questions, listen, repeat, approve, move on. It took me a long time to learn the pattern, but once you have that pattern down, it works pretty well.
Yeah, if you're natural, I mean, in this world, you got to have the gift of gab, or you're gonna have an issue getting started. It's gonna
Right.
take you a little bit longer to get go. For me, look, I mean, I could talk to that wall right there. That just came out of the world that I came from. But yeah, you gotta be able to pick up on the hints. You gotta be able to flow in conversation, and be able to pivot who you're talking to, when you're talking to, and how you're talking to them. Or it can be a real short conversation.
Right. No, totally agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I just have to bring this up because we were talking about it earlier. And rumor has it that you made a brief stay at another company before coming back. Did you want to share anything about that for us?
Of course, yeah. So, yeah, I left this organization about the end of October, September, and like I was saying before, that was the only recruiting call that I took. And we all get recruited all the time, right? I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. So, um, I went to a company called Corcoran Global Living, and they were more of an East Coast brand, and they're just making their headway into the West Coast last year, and really into Vegas itself. Probably, I would say the middle of the summer is when they kind of broke ground. And it was interesting. It was intriguing to me, but sometimes you got to go experience it before you really understand how strong the brand is where you're already at.
Right.
Um, they made a great pitch, and I'm not dogging them at all. And I think that's going to be they have their wheelhouse, but you don't realize the thoroughness behind Berkshire Hathaway, the knowledge that's here. I was there for 3 or 4 months probably, and there was one sales meeting, right? And Aldo's meetings are incredibly informative. I mean, you don't realize how much information you're getting from him until you go somewhere else. And then
Right.
you're like, wow, took that for granted. So the brand here is incredibly strong. Sometimes, like I said, you got experience for yourself, and just the support that's here and the knowledge that's provided to you, it seeps into your head without you even knowing it, and you don't realize it until it's not there anymore.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you. And just so everybody understands, that's Aldo Martinez. He's the branch manager of the Southwest office, and Chuck Maxfield is the sales manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, the and Aldo. Not only that, I mean, let's put it this way: people think I have high energy. I think I look mellow compared to Aldo.
Yeah, it's Tuesday mornings at 8:30. They come bright and early and quick with our sales meetings. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, and he has all kinds of energy, all kinds of information. He brings everybody up, and he keeps it rolling.
He
Right?
does. It's entertaining. Look, I mean, if you haven't been to one, and you're from a different state or a different region, we're still doing them. I believe there's the link. Try and get on just to see it. It's fun and
That's
it's
actually a good
informative.
suggestion. That's
Yeah.
actually a good suggestion. Okay, so all right, so and let's face it, let's face it, you went from brand new person to
Mm-hmm.
really a top producer really quick. So congratulations. So I can imagine from an ego satisfying point, you're getting these calls from these agents, right? That are like that particular brand that they sell a bunch of real estate themselves, and you're like, wow, this is such a compliment. They're calling me and recruiting me, right? So that had to feel nice. But then when you get there, you're like, oh God, I can produce real estate better where I was. So but like you said, you don't know until you know.
And what really happens, and I'm sure there's other people that can attest to it. Not only is uh, residential real estate really about feeling, and at the moment, it's all about momentum too, right? And that severely hampered my momentum to take down my not only the Berkshire brand, but my brand. I spent the last 18 months when I probably should have mentioned that too, but that's important for to back up to the marketing too, is to have your own brand, concentrate on your brand, and every chance that you have, promote your brand. Because yes, Berkshire is strong and they're going to get your foot in the door, but you the individual, and if you have a brand yourself, is going to be the one that's going to close the deal. And you got to promote your brand any chance you get. I never miss a chance to market myself. Period. No matter what it is, I mean, even on closing gifts, I put business cards inside the closing gifts, right? Like I gave someone a business card holder and one for actually it was a I gave one for her mom and one for her. They were little coin purses from wherever they were from. But I put my business card in there, kind of just and I posted that on social media, and the feedback I got on that ranged the gauntlet from amazing. I never thought of that. How smart. I mean, it's just you gotta take every chance you can to market yourself.
I totally agree. And Mark Stark, the CEO of the company, would definitely agree, of course. And Gordon and Maria. I mean, we have Maria that our marketing department is tremendous. Gordon and Mark put together quite a, our our CRM, the VAC 2.0, and all the way down the line. But you're absolutely right. The brand is Berkshire Hathaway. I call it Uncle Warren. You got Uncle Warren, and then you got to have your own brand within the brand and link those two together. So that's really good advice. I agree with you 100%, Evan. Great job there. All right. So you've been doing this a while now. You're going to have you had an incredible year. And I love what you said about momentum, because people don't take that into consideration. That is gigantic. Once you get going, it's so much easier to keep going than to stop and start. So I totally get that one too. But okay, go ahead.
No, and that was the part I left off of that, is to take your brand down and to try and start it at another organization. It's incredibly difficult. I don't care who you are, how experienced you are, you're going to lose momentum. Momentum equals dollars. Dollars equals your satisfactory in life and living, and ultimately, how you're able to progress forward. So that little thing called momentum spirals into this. It's important. It's incredibly important.
Right. And there's good momentum and there's bad momentum.
Right.
I jokingly tell people, like, when I weighed 25 pounds more than I do now, and I did, that was bad momentum. And whether you're in good momentum or bad momentum, it takes a while. So when you're in good momentum, sometimes you're like, right? And you think you can afford a break in it, and you can, but why would you want to do that if you didn't have to? So and like you said, Evan, until you experience that, you're like, okay, I'm bulletproof. This won't happen to me. But then it does. That momentum is critically important. So great job, my man. Glad to see you back too, by the way.
Thank you. That's the beauty of it too. Is there was no hesitation when I picked up the phone to have that conversation to come back. It was answered within a couple rings, and there was no animosity. And there were some things that I don't mind sharing this. I don't think there is an issue sharing it, but I was fully expecting some of the things that I had Berkshire created for me. Um, the branding, the logo, I was fully expecting that to be asked for back. That's the intellectual property of the company. And the business philosophy, the business acumen, and the smarts of Mark to not go down that path, that resonated with me, that stuck with me. And I think that's just what sets Berkshire apart from everyone else, is there's such experience in this organization from all the levels that even little things as that, as not saying, hey, you can't use our logo, we created that for you, etc. That had a profound impact on me not even thinking twice about where I was going to go when I was leaving that other organization.
Awesome. Well, I love that. I'm going to tell you something that people don't realize this, but when people leave the company, it really bothers Mark for a number of reasons. So every time they come back, I call him. Hey, Mark, did you see so and so's back? You see so and so's back? Because I just think it's we do get a decent amount of people once they leave to come back, which I think is really good. It says a lot about the organization. So awesome, my man. Okay, so let's say whether I'm brand new, been producing agent, you've come from a really good background in the casino business, which you really learn how to work. Like you said, there's a lot of pressure, really big decisions, right? Then you come into real estate and you immediately get into the groove, and you're already a top producer. So if you could give them out there three pieces, what would be the three? Number one, two, and three, or they can all be number ones. Like sometimes I go, these are all important, right? They're all number ones. What would they
Sure.
be?
I think so. Most important is you got to be organized, right?
Mm.
You think you're just going to get your license and you're just going to call your friends and family and just going to magically give you a deal. You're sadly mistaken. And not to say that that's not going to happen here and there, and not to say that I was fortunate enough to have that happen, but you can't rely on that. You need to be organized from the day you get your license, and actually probably before that, to be honest with you.
Mm.
I wrote my first business plan, and in case you haven't realized, I'm extremely anal, and to a default at some point. But I wrote my business plan before I even chose the organization that I was going to work for when I first got my license. So first organization, yeah, I know it's strange, and I had a title to it and everything. But anyways, so organization, I would say, is number one. And 1A or 1B would be structure within that organization. 2, I would say follow through. And it could really be also number 1 as well. If you can have the best organization, the best processes, the best plan, but if you don't follow through, you got nothing. You got no results. And I think that's where a lot of agents falter and get discouraged. Is they have this great idea, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get here. I'm gonna do this program. I'm gonna do this marketing. I'm gonna talk to this person, whatever it is. But they don't take the next step to see it through completion.
Mm.
And that's an integral part of a success of any real estate agent. And I don't think it's just real estate. I think it's in business world, period. Is if you don't follow through. I mean, I can tell you, coming from the casino side, there was people that didn't get jobs that I was interviewing for. And one of the reasons I got to the level that I was at Bellagio was because of my follow through. It's not like they just said, hey, we like the way you look, we're going to put you there. So follow through is important, and I just think in every aspect. And I would say the next thing is don't give up if you get frustrated, or when you get out of class or you get your license and the deals aren't coming. They're going to come quicker for some people and longer for others. And don't get frustrated, because if you get frustrated and down on yourself, that's a real good way to lose any momentum that we were talking about that you had. That's gone, and now you're going to have to work twice as hard to kick up the gears again. So I think don't get down on yourself. I think those are three keys. I could go on for 10 more, but I know it's only a 30-minute show. But I think those are important. Those are fundamentals. That a separate conversation, we could get into the organizational structure part. But I think those are 3 key fundamentals for you to succeed.
I love it. I'm looking at my phone now because I'm reading a book right now, and you just quoted 2 things out of it verbatim. It's called Richer, Wiser, Happier by William Green. And he says, if part of your plan is to have somebody rescue you, that's a terrible plan. Right? So like you said, you can't expect, at this company, people are going to help you, but nobody can do it for you. You got to have the plan. You got to be organized. And it's funny you say follow through, because I have a saying for every year. It's got a rhyme too, of course, but is, what's possible for you when you follow through in 2022? Because I know that by doing this for as long, I've been doing this for 37 years, man. I went 2 years of college after high school, and I've been selling real estate or coaching or part of an organization or owning since then. And the follow through, a lot of people set it up, they do the initial prospecting, and but the follow through is so important. I love what you said about being organized, have a plan. All of those things are critically important. And the misnomer a lot of times is, we had talked earlier about the gift of gab. There are a lot of agents that have the gift of gab that start off really good, but if you're one of those persons that's already good at that, and you get organized and have follow through, you will absolutely kill it in this business.
Those two accommodate, they're lethal in this business.
They really are. And you know what? Not everybody has both of them. Some of them are organized, but they can't talk to anybody. And some of them can talk to anybody, but they're like, herding cats. So you have to have a little of both, and a lot of both is better.
And whichever one you don't have, I mean, it goes without saying, but I think we should repeat it. Is you got to practice. I mean, you got to practice. Everyone has different parts of the business that they like. Certain aspects I'm just not good at. And to back up one of the other items, one of the keys to success is know what you're good at and know what you're not good at, and figure out how to focus on those items. Like, do you want to spend more time becoming what you're not good at, or do you want to spend more time perfecting what you are good at? And I think that varies with each individual agent, person, and anyone. That's just we're all different breeds, right? And even in the casino world, we had several different types of hosts, because there's all kinds of personalities that are coming into the casino, and that same exact thing stands true in the real estate world.
Right. So you probably knew exactly who to put with who, right? Based on their personality style.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you got to know in this world when you might not fit with someone, and you got to think to yourself, okay, is it worth my time and energy to make myself fit with this individual, or am I just going down, 3 or 4 months of wasted time and something that was better suited on another prospect? There's a lot of stuff that goes on, and people think real estate is easier than it is.
They really do. They really do. I know. That's what I tell agents all the time. When you go over someone's house and you're up against a commission cutter, let's say, remember, the only reason they're bringing that up is because they think whether they list with you or them, they're going to net the same money. They don't realize that's not true until you inform them, right? So true. And, you have to, one of my affirmations for years in real estate was, I am confident, competent, and natural. And let me tell you something. When I started saying that, I was anything but competent, confident, and natural. I had to develop that over time. But I always believe in saying your affirmations. Like, I did a video right before this video for Instagram, and it's called Setting the Mental GPS. Like, your goal, I make 200,000. I sell X amount of homes. I talk to X amount of people a day. I remind myself of that every day before I even get started. Like, you look at your schedule and you're organized. You do a week in advance and then one day at a time. I love that. Mine is always here. I love the new Gmail with the calendar that we have, as of about a year ago. Everything is in there, man. And it constantly reminds me, which I love.
You know what, Rick? That's the one I print out. I had it sitting in here, but that's the one I print out. And, I fold it up into a trifold and I stick it in my suit pocket. I mean, I did that in the casino world for years, but even, in this world, when I have an inside pocket, it goes in my inside pocket. It's just a natural, just my reaction. But yeah, that's exactly what I print out. The Gmail calendar, G Suite calendar, it's perfect because it has those, those 2 trailing months, right? It has, you can put the note section in there. That's what I live and breathe off of.
Yeah, I love it. You can do it by the day, by the week, by the month, so it really works out well. Gmail's got it figured out, and I love the schedule part of it too, along with your email. They all go together, and it's all part of the, and that's the thing too. I tell people, like, I'm doing Success Series. Okay, shameless plug coming. I'm doing Success Series next week at the St. Rose office from 1 to 4. You also get CE credit if you're in Nevada. If you're not in Nevada, Arizona, California, it'll be on Google Hangouts. So you can watch it there. But one of the things I talk about is just that, you have to have a plan, you have to have a system, and when you come here, when you walk in, all you need is a picture. And I always say current picture, not your high school glamour shot, right? Current picture of yourself, your current information, you plug it into all the systems, you're ready to rock, right? Then eventually, when you get like you, Evan, and you want to do the individual, you want to add the brand within the brand, all you're doing is making slight adjustments to a whole bunch of stuff that's already laid out for you, right? So it really is I love doing stuff and being super productive with, if I can have all that stuff all lined up for me already, which we have for them, it
Yes.
really saves you a lot of time and effort, right?
And that's one of the reasons that, back up again, that I found in that other organization is they were not, I don't want to, I guess, I'm going to be a little bit politically correct. Berkshire was just extremely organized in that world, right?
Yeah.
Like we're great at what we do in that part, and we're great for newer agents. And as you progress, you figure out how do you make these tools work for you even greater. But Berkshire is so far ahead in that aspect of the game that I think it's important to understand that if you go somewhere else, you don't have all these great tools that we have already set up for you. And to get them, it's going to cost you either a pretty penny, or that company is just not there yet to that where they can offer that.
Yeah, if you have to buy all that stuff yourself, I can't tell you how many people, have been using Top Producer or Wise Agent for years, and then now our new VAC 2.0 with all the bells and whistles it have, they just downloaded everything right into that, save the money because it's got all the branded stuff for you. You don't even have to. You just add in your current picture. Now, from a marketing standpoint, let me explain what I mean by current picture. If the DMV won't take it, it's not current. All right, Evan, any final words of wisdom you want to leave these wonderful people?
No, I think we got an exciting year coming up. I think everyone is aware of the challenges. Probably the inhibitors that we're going to have, they're going to restrict some of the certain segments of it. But I think we got an exciting year coming up. We're in a great organization. I think the final thing for me, my motto and everything that I do, besides the other things I mentioned, is inspect what you expect. And if you, with your clients, if you expect to get a certain result from them, i.e. financially wise, i.e. a commission split, then you got to put the effort in, put the work in, and be there, be present, go above and beyond. Don't do things that make you think you stand out from other agents just to make the money. Make it part of your daily practice, and do things that make you stand out as the normal operating procedure for you, not the special things that you're going to do for this client just to earn their business. Do it for everyone.
I love it. It goes back to the golden rule, my man, right? Treat them the way you'd like to be treated, and you'll do a bunch of business. And I'd also recommend talk to as many people as possible. Even in this COVID crazy world, it's still, you can talk to people, and the more you talk to, the more business you're going to do.
But I made it a goal last year was 5 business cards a day, or 5 contact points. This year it's 10. Somehow, some way, I need to give out my information 10 times per day to 10 new people. However, gas station, shopping mall, wherever it may be, wherever, I make it a point to hand out business cards.
Yeah. Do you often go down to the Bellagio or whatever, however casinos you worked at, and just talk to the people hand out your card, remind them? That's a great idea.
I walk those shops at Wynn, at Encore, at Venetian, at Bellagio, at Palazzo. I will choose one of those, if not every week, at least one per month. And obviously, there's probably some ulterior motives, of course, right? But I go down there to get my mind because if I'm going to operate in that sphere, that segment of the business, I need to be in that mode. So I go down there to get myself in that mode so I can automatically flip the switch.
Yeah, it is a nice walk too. So there you go. Right. Yeah. All right, my man. Evan, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm awesome. I wish you all the luck. I know you'll do incredible this year. Thanks for taking out 30 minutes of your time this morning, my man. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you. See you, everybody.